After you read the title of this video, before I get ripped apart by any vegans or vegetarians, watch the whole video throughout because I explain it. If you still disagree with what I'm saying, that's just too bad. Now for real though, as usual, I welcome all healthy debate and any questions or concerns in the comments. So in my experience, there are two types of vegetarians. The first type are vegetarians that don't eat meat because they don't want to eat animals. This is probably the most well-known type of vegetarian. It's almost a stereotype now. And while I totally agree with the deep ecology motivations behind this type of vegetarian, I do believe that this type causes a lot of issues because it shadows over the statistical, environmental, and social reasons behind vegetarianism and veganism. I can't talk. So, it also invalidates these reasons because we live in a positivist society where emotion comes after science. As a deep ecologist myself, I love the cow over there as much as I love the tree over there, as much as I love the random stranger on the street over there. I personally believe that we are all interrelated kin who should have give-and-take relationships that are mutually beneficial and promote abundance. And now, I don't mean to offend anyone by what I'm saying next, but in my personal experience, I've noticed that these types of vegetarians usually eat fish. Now, I personally think this is because fish are kind of seen as less than animals, terrestrial animals for that matter. We think they're less sentient and less smart and therefore worth less. We just culturally attach less value to fish. And I think that kind of validates eating them, even though overfishing is a huge issue, like huge. It's like, you wouldn't eat a dolphin because it's a dolphin, it's so cute and smart, but you'd eat a salmon because it's just like a salmon, it's there for us, right? It's kind of what I mean. So secondly, there are the vegetarians that are vegetarian for social and environmental reasons. I might make a whole video on these reasons themselves because there are quite a few, and if you want to learn all about them, definitely go follow Plant-Based Lifestyle because with every post that I make, I do a little reason, a little fact. So I'm going to share a few of the really important reasons. I'm also just gonna read them off because they're like statistics and I just can't memorize all that, okay? 1. Raising animals is the #1 source of greenhouse gases, land use and degradation, water pollution, and rainforest deforestation, as well as a major contributor to air pollution, ocean dead zones, habitat loss, and species extinction. The livestock sector is responsible for 64% of anthropogenic ammonia emissions, which cause the acidification of ecosystems, which is a major issue right now. A plant-based diet requires only 1/3 of the land needed to produce meat and dairy. 4. It takes 12 times more land, 13 times more fossil fuel, and 15 times more water to produce 1 pound of beef versus 1 pound of soy. Nearly 80% of land deforested in the rainforest, tropical rainforest, is now used as cattle pasture. Purchasing less meat means freeing up more land for vegetation regrowth and hopefully diverting vast amounts of grain for human consumption. 86% of freshwater consumption is for agricultural purposes, the grand majority of which is livestock production. Being plant-based saves 50% more CO2 emissions than driving a Prius. Therefore, practicing veganism is one of the most effective methods of lowering one's carbon footprint. Okay, so those were more of the environmental reasons. Now I'm just going to list off a few social reasons as well. Starting with first the definition of food security. Food security is achieved when all people at all times have sufficient access to safe and nutritious food to meet a healthy lifestyle. Most countries have moderate or insufficient food security. Poor families living in rural areas are the most likely to be affected by the loss of biodiversity associated with increased food production. The global agricultural treadmill, which is the process by which farmers adopt new agri-technologies in hopes of increasing yields, pushes farmers in the south further into poverty and creates a culture of food dependency. The clear-cutting of the Amazon rainforest to expand Brazil's agricultural frontier for livestock has created great social inequality where 3% of the Brazilian population controls 2/3 of all arable land. In Canada, 70% of the grain grown is fed to farmed animals. Imagine how many people that could feed. I can't speak for everyone, but I'm a vegetarian as a part of a low carbon footprint lifestyle that makes me personally accountable. I hope to inspire other people to do the same, for individual power feeds the collective power by which change is accomplished. So this brings us to the question, how do I, as a vegetarian of 3 years, eat meat? I eat meat very, very rarely because it actually just grosses me out now after having not eaten it for so long. Anyways, I eat meat when it doesn't contribute to the consumption production cycle. So this is when I find meat dumpster diving, which I'll make a whole video on like why and how later. Or when meat has already been purchased, like at a family gathering, wherefore my consumption of it will not lead to them buying more. Okay, my necklace just fell off. It's fine. I would also buy meat if it was extremely responsibly sourced because I want to support efforts to deindustrialize animal agriculture. So to wrap things up, I quickly want to talk about labels and why I think they're dangerous. Labels polarize two sides, like meat eaters versus strict non-meat eaters, and they don't allow for any concession in the middle, like for any middle ground to be reached, because they're just attacking or being attacked. The whole idea is to eat less meat. And if you can go without meat or animal products altogether, that's all the better. But I really don't want anyone to shy away from eating less meat or being vegetarian because they're afraid to commit. You don't have to be strictly one or the other, as labels would suggest. And when we shed this labeling behavior, I really believe that a lot more people will feel more comfortable in trying to become vegetarian or consume less animal products because they are going to be bound by blood to these restrictions and criticized when they fail to meet them. So yeah, give her a go, you know? Start with Meatless Mondays if you want, go from there or stay there. Like I said, it's just about consuming less animal products in general. You don't have to completely cut them out. I will not judge you, I will not hold you up to any expectations. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great week, folks. Spend it with family, spend it with friends, and most importantly, spend it with yourself.